High school history and TOK teacher for over 40 years, Ms. Garg has guided generations with intellectual rigor and compassion, nurturing scholarship, global citizenship, and a lifelong commitment to history. In recognition of her exceptional role as a teacher, mentor, and a committed member of the historical profession, she was recently awarded the Nancy Lyman Rilke Award by the American Historical Association. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Ms. Garg.
What does it mean to think historically, and why is it so important for Gen Z? As a history teacher, what I care most about is the process, not the answers. Thinking historically is not about memorizing dates or heroic stories. It is about how we think and not what we remember. To think historically is to slow down and ask the hard questions. It means to understand that history is complex. It's not just everything that happened in the past, but it needs to be observed, remembered, recorded. The records need to survive. Then they need to be believable, translatable, and finally, it's interpreted. And so, as historian Mark Bloch said, a historian resembles a detective, always asking how we claim to know what we know. The good news is that Gen Z is already thinking historically. You ask whose voices were excluded, why textbooks talk about only leaders and not the marginalized society. You instinctively ask who benefited, who paid the cost, what alternatives existed. When Malala Yousafzai does not argue for girls' rights as a new or isolated demand, she places it within a long historical struggle against exclusion, patriarchy, and the denial of rights. Malala argues like a historian. Greta Thunberg when she began her school strike, she was not only talking about climate and rising temperatures, she was speaking about decades of political delay, industrial expansion, and choices made long before she was born. She placed today's climate crisis within a historical timeline of responsibility. That is historical causation in action. Historical thinking does not excuse the past, it makes it understandable. So, what should we be careful of? One danger is presentism, judging the past purely by today's values. The people of the past didn't think like us, and expecting them to do so erases understanding. The past must be understood within its own context, avoiding the projection of modern communal or political ideologies. For example, when judging the caste system, the question is not how could they believe this, but what social, economic, and religious structures made this belief logical at that time. Another danger is hindsight. We know how events turned out, historical actors did not. Most people stumble into the future, and the history is full of unintended consequences, not master plans. Thirdly, you need to argue from evidence, not emotion. For example, when watching a news clip, emotion reacts to the clip, to the news, but evidence reconstructs it. And the past is often confusing, paradoxical, and uncomfortable. Good history does not simplify it, it stays with this discomfort. In a digitally saturated fake news era, historical thinking provides us with the tools to vet information. Every source must be questioned. Who produced it? For what audience? What does it include? What does it omit? How does it compare with other evidence? Before you share it, question it. Before you believe it, place it in context. Do not believe the written word unless you have evaluated it carefully. The Holy Roman Empire was not holy, not Roman, and not even an empire. One of history's most powerful tools is the ability to track continuity and change. Ideas like freedom, equality, and democracy are not fixed, they evolve over time. Technology changes rapidly, but emotions like fear, ambition, hope, they remain constant. Artificial intelligence feels revolutionary, but societies reacted with similar fear to the printing press. History reminds us that while tools evolve, ethical responsibility does not disappear. History is not only, therefore, about understanding the past, it's about how we live in the present. History teaches us that knowledge without reflection creates consequences we cannot undo. Many scientists later said that they understood how to build the bomb before understanding what it would mean. Today, with AI, biotechnology, and social media algorithms, Gen Z faces similar ethical responsibility. Just because we can build something does not mean we have understood the consequences. So, Gen Z, when you walk forward from here, remember you're not just inheriting history, you're shaping the direction in which it bends. So, as you step forward, carry the lessons of history with you. We cannot change the past, but we can use it to inform our decisions and actions moving forward. Throughout history, it is the uh, courage of those who challenge the status quo that has led to a better world. Let us remember Mahatma Gandhi and Nelson Mandela, who taught us that non-violence is stronger than the concept it negates. Gen Z, today you have access to more information than any generation before. Historical thinking asks you to slow down, to judge carefully, and to act with awareness of consequences. It teaches empathy and it reminds you that today's crises have roots and that one day your choices will become someone else's history. Historical thinking does not tell you what to believe, it tells you how to think. And in a century that demands courage and clarity, that may be the most powerful responsibility you carry. Gen Z, we are counting on you. Thank you.